Hey, everybody, it's another edition of Saturdays with Mcvay and Jay. Season 2 is upon us, and we're in December. Let's hit it out.
Go for it.
All right. Good evening once again. Yeah, buddy. How you doing?
I'm good, but I think I'm missing from the screen. Hello.
You are. You're not here. I see you.
I'm here, but I'm still in the backstage area. So there. Oh, it says
No, I didn't. No, now you'd be in the backstage. Now you're there.
okay. What's going on?
I
I
don't
lost me. Everyone can see and hear you, but I'm just not on screen at the moment. Weird. Let's see if there's something.
Okay, let me try it from
Yeah,
here.
there I am. There we go.
Hey. Hey, it's all live. You know it's being recorded.
There we go.
These things never go right, even on a Saturday night. You know, we get a
That's
little
true.
bit, to the point. Well, how was your Thanksgiving there?
Very uneventful for one big reason. My
That's
folks got COVID,
ooh.
so we couldn't host anyone. So all we did was we went to get takeout from a local restaurant, and there we went. That was our
Ooh.
Thanksgiving.
And you pretty much had to stay in your little area here.
Pretty
Couldn't go
much,
out of the house.
exactly. Yeah, pretty much.
Quarantine.
Uh,
Well, I hope they're doing better.
oh yeah, they're doing a lot better than right now. It's been a whole week since that happened, so we're in good shape on that.
That's good. Were they taking anything for it, or just kind of riding it
Just
out?
just riding it out, though. I mean, we're used to this. We've actually had it a couple times already in the past few years, anyway, so we're good.
Wow. Well, I'm glad that everything is going on the positive side. Hopefully, you won't have to deal with that at Christmas time. And you'll be able to actually have a big family gathering.
Exactly. Yes.
So we're praying for you for that. Other than that, my Thanksgiving was quiet. I got all the Christmas decorations up.
Yeah.
As of the recording of this show tonight, the tree is done.
Yeah.
And the
We
outside.
got, and at our house, all we currently have are our outside decorations, which are very minimal anyway. And then basically, we still have to get our tree out, but other than that, that'll be ready to go.
There you go.
Of course, it's
And
hard to have a tree up when you have two cats and a puppy dog. So there you go.
yeah, like they want to climb it, destroy it, and think that it's their
Exactly.
territory to pee and poop on it. There you go.
Exactly. Yes.
Now, do you guys get a real tree or do you have a fake?
Now we have fake ones because unfortunately we have a lot of allergies in our family here. So real
Yeah.
trees basically make us go like crazy on the allergies. So there you go.
Yeah, I cannot touch a real tree of that sort. I'd have to take Benadryl because then I break out in rash and
Oh yeah.
all of that allergic reaction of the itchy skin.
And it's more nasal and sneezing for us. So there you go.
Yeah, my mom's got asthma and doesn't need that, like the pine needles.
Mhm.
That's a pain in the neck to clean up just on its own.
Right.
Well, as you can see, our color tonight is red, and next
Yeah.
week we will be in green. So these are what I like to classify as the next two Christmas episodes coming up.
Yeah, pretty much.
And
Yeah.
off for 2 weeks, Christmas and New Year's, just like everything else. So that's
Yeah,
a good
pretty
thing.
good.
All right. So let's go ahead and get ourselves ready to go. Do you want to
All
start
right. Sure.
with your first article?
Yeah, give me a second. I'm going to bring that up for us here. All right. Well, you're going to like this first one here. In
Okay.
this one here, a pet steer will cause a stir at a Canadian Tim Hortons drive-through.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Old UPI gave us this beautiful one, dated just the Wednesday the 4th here. An Alberta steer, originally bought for meat, ended up becoming a beloved pet and a local celebrity known for his frequent trips to the local Tim Hortons drive-through.
Ah.
Sylvan Lake resident Kelly Landry says she originally bought the Holstein steer named Magnum with the intention of harvesting for meat, but quickly became attached to the animal.
See what
He,
happens?
yeah, that's right. He's cow, but with the mentality of a horse and the personality of a dog, she's told the CBC News. And she said it didn't take her long to decide Magnum was a friend and not food. He would come to see me and moo at me, she said. He would run around the barn and call for me. Magnum became a popular fixture of the community and is often seen with Landry riding on his back. The two are best known for their trips to the Tim Hortons drive-thru, which are for coffee, just like we have our Starbucks, which is the steer's favorite treats the Timbits come from.
Yeah.
I like to go to Tim Hortons. Many people do it with horses, but that's too common, Landry said. It's just to have some social time, and people love to see it. And she says that Magnum always attracts a crowd in the drive-thru. They were surprised, happy, and they took many pictures, she told Central Alberta Online. Some invited me to take a coffee, and some people came to have a chat and ask some questions.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's see if
See
I
what
get
happens when you really
here's the cow here. Here's the cow. So there you go. So here's the cow, basically, enjoying the Tim Hortons there and actually doing things like that. So
the only thing I can think of is when she's really desperate for meat, then she'll kill him.
yeah, hopefully that won't come to that direction.
Hopefully it won't be for a long time. Either the cow will die of natural causes or Tim Hortons will buy off the cow from her for a big price, and then they'll slaughter them for burgers.
I'll probably think about that too. So there you go.
I was thinking the same thing too. If Tim Hortons makes a big, what was that?
I'll just try some of the audio from the video game played. So I try to stop it as best I could. There you go.
Oh, okay. I was thinking is if Tim Hortons made a good enough deal to buy the cow off of her, they would start doing whatever they want with the cow to get extra meat out of it.
I'm thinking they could probably use it for advertising myself, but that's my opinion.
I didn't know Tim Hortons was have a cow on their logo. If that was the case.
Yeah. Well,
that's
as the article said,
with the cows,
Well, I figured, as they mentioned, there's some people ride their horses through those drive-throughs, so why not a cow?
Right. I saw something too. It was funny. It was on Facebook. I don't know if you had come across it, but it says, "Forget about the elf on the shelf. We are here in Canada. We have goose on a moose."
Yeah, I've seen so many of those types of memes there, like rock on the crop or something like that.
Hey, Mark Leota and Andrew Hawking would love that one.
Goose on a moose. Exactly. Yeah.
For sure. Because in Canada, it's always goose on a moose. Yeah.
There you go.
All right. So let's go ahead and get ready now for news of the weird.
All righty.
All right. We're going to get this going here. I'm going to put this up here on the share screen for everybody. Yes, today, of course, the Andrews McNeil syndication has for November 29, 2024. Like I said, at the time of recording, the new ones come out every Friday, but we record on a Thursday. So you're getting last week's news of the weird, which we weren't even here to tell you about.
This is true.
So I will go first on this one here. And the first one is the lead story is suspicions confirmed.
Suspicions confirmed.
Suspicions cross my heart. Yeah, right. Parents and teachers at Gosho Kodomo in kindergarten in Southwest Japan thought for sure someone with a footwear fetish was swiping little shoes from cubbies at the school. The Associated Press reported. Police installed 3 cameras in the school and on November 11th, zeroed in on another culprit, a weasel.
Oh, okay.
It's great not to be a human being, said Deputy Police Chief Hiroki Inada. The stolen shoes have not been found, but the school has installed a net over the cubbies to keep the weasel, who is still on the loose, out.
Of course, yeah.
You know what that reminds me of? The Foghorn Bighorn cartoon. Dog, weasel.
Yeah.
Man, I can't believe that guy is that chicken is continually bothering me.
Well, we got a couple of EU categories.
You love
one, but 2. Here we go.
Yep.
1 second. Okay, in LA it's known for many things, but perhaps its most weirdest claim to fame is being the clogged capital of the United States on Brown Friday, which is the day after Thanksgiving, where plumbers nationally go out on emergency calls 65% more often than on Fridays.
Than
Than
other
other
Fridays.
Fridays, yeah.
Yep.
Analysis by Yelp showed that plumbing-related searches went up by 73% in Los Angeles, followed by 37% in Miami, the United Press International reported. Roto-Rooter said the most common problem areas were kitchen sinks, toilets, and garbage disposals. And we know why, because they're getting rid of all the leftovers.
I can't believe Roto-Rooter's still in business.
Oh, yeah, they're definitely
Jeez.
still around. Yeah.
Yeah, we got a whole different group of people who know how to clean septic tanks, for that
Pretty
matter.
much. Exactly. Yes.
And if you're looking for a different type of pizza than the standard pepperoni or sausage, at Pizza Hut restaurants in China, customers are being offered deep fried frogs on top of their pies.
Whoa. That's right.
The Independent reported on November 21st the pizza has a thick crust with red sauce and basil with a whole fried bullfrog on top.
Whoa.
The limited time variety is being offered in a collaboration with Dungeons and Dragons, and it is called Goblin Pizza.
Okay. Now, I think they could do a lot better than just a whole frog for a goblin pizza, but that's
not just a frog, a bullfrog. So that's got to be one of those.
It's a whole one. So in other words, you get everything including inside of it. So yeah,
including the
and
leg.
we all remember what it's like to dissect frogs in high school, in biology class. So yeah,
that frog just took its last croak on your pizza.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Well, rude. Yep. Here we go. A couple rude ones. Ready? Starting on January 1st, the Garden of Remembrance Cemetery in Stoke-on-Trent, England, will welcome visitors from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday, the Stoke Sentinel reported. But should family members want to visit at other times, they'll be required to buy a VI pass for £5 or £10 if they also want to visit the Rose Garden. Now, I need to pay a membership fee to visit my dad's grave, groused Joan Bourne, whose father, Mark, is buried there. This is an absolute disgrace. A post notice says the new rules will make, quote, the site secure for our staff, families, and visitors. And I wonder, are some of those visitors expected to stay permanently?
Wow. And you know what I think is more and more people are getting cremated, so I think cemeteries are going to be a thing of the past eventually.
I know, yeah.
Especially if you have to pay a membership fee in this case.
Yeah, but true though.
Yep.
It's weird though. But here's another weird one.
Yeah, and speaking of a cemetery, a prop gravestone for Ebenezer Scrooge left behind after a 1984 movie adaptation of A Christmas Carol starring George C. Scott was smashed on November 24th, the BBC reported. Now, the cemetery next to St. Chad's Church in Shrewsbury, England, was part of the scene where Scrooge meets the ghost of Christmas yet to come. Much of the movie was filmed there. Town Council Clerk Helen Ball said the stone is in multiple pieces. I think it's one of those things that's very dear to everybody's hearts. She said the council would determine whether the stone could be repaired. Wow.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that was a important part of the Dickens classic story. So, yeah, that's kind of sad. Kind of reminds me of how several months ago in Wichita, Kansas, there actually was a great statue to Jackie Robinson, but it was literally sawed because the people wanted to use the copper from the statue. But thankfully, they got a replacement for it, so that's not so bad, though.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, let's go to our next story here. No good deed. Nigel Carter, age 64, of Comrie, Perthshire, Scotland, collected 500 bikes to send to a charity in Sudan that helps people who need cheap transportation to school or work, the BBC reported back on November 22nd. But a Scottish Environment Protection Agency inspector said the shipment could not leave the port because some of the bikes needed minor repairs, such as oil on the chains and new brake cables. Carter said he found it ludicrous that the bikes were returned to him. An SEPA official said he had a duty to ensure that Scotland's waste was not dumped on another country. But Carter said the Sudanese charity had picked out the bikes and were happy with their condition. they will likely be returned to the recycling center where they came from and scrapped.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, seriously, I would love to. I would love to have this guy, donate all these bicycles. But if his own government is that picky, saying no, they got to be repaired first.
It reminds me, that story reminds me of that commercial. 1-877 bikes for kids. BIKES for kids. 1-877 bikes for kids. Donate your bike today. What's cars for kids? But I would
Okay,
say
yeah,
bikes for kids because it just
it makes more sense though.
right. Yeah, they could kind of change the way you donate something.
That's true. True.
And it's a mystery, speaking of which, that George Oliver of Calvert County, Maryland, I don't know if you've been to Maryland.
No, I've never been to Maryland,
Yeah.
so
He often walks on the beach looking for fossils, NBC News reported. As he strolled along Chesapeake Bay on November 4th during low tide, he spotted a coffin in the water. Whoa!
Uh-oh.
Now, inside was a nearly whole human skeleton.
Ooh.
Oliver removed the skeleton and dug the mostly submerged coffin out of the water. When I first found it, he said, you could not tell that there was a human remains. You just thought it was full of beach sand.
Wow.
Well, Oliver called the sheriff's department, who called an archaeological society. And based on the construction of the coffin and the condition of the body, it's believed to be at least 100 years old.
Nice.
Kelsey Ward, a crime scene technician with the sheriff's office, said the skull showed signs of a gunshot wound or blunt force trauma of some sort.
Wow.
While the remains and coffin will be interred at a local cemetery. Wow.
Well, that's good.
I hope he gets a good reward for this one.
Me too. I hope I hope the body can actually finally get a good resting place. There you go.
Exactly. Preserve it really well.
All right. Well, here's the passing parade. Ready? Have you ever really loved a car? Well, the Polara family of Partner Shinga Village in India really love their 18-year-old Suzuki Wagon R. Oddity Central reported. They believe the hatchback to be their lucky car, so when it burned its last gallon of gas, they gave it a special send-off as a lavish burial ceremony attended by more than 1,500 guests.
Whoa.
But the Polaras had a 15-foot deep hole dug on their property, then had the car covered with flowers and decorated with garlands lowered into it as music played. The ceremony included several rituals and cost the Polaris more than $4,500. This car was more than just a vehicle, Sanjay Polaris said. It was part of our journey toward success. He plans to plant a tree over the grave as a marker. Now, what really surprises me, 1,500 guests for a funeral?
Yeah,
for
right?
a car?
Several rituals cost the Polaris $4,500.
Now that's cheap.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's about the average for a funeral nowadays for just a regular person in a coffin.
Yeah.
Is between
That's sometimes not even including the coffin.
No, yeah, I know, right? Some places it cost you $8,000 to $10,000 just to bury the fool, whoever it is.
I know.
But a car, $4,500.
That must have been one special car. I'll say that. Yikes.
Yep, but they had it for 18 years. Wow, I wonder. And it didn't. They didn't say how many miles it had on it.
Probably
Unfortunately,
not. No.
Yeah. Well, here's some news you can use, Scott.
Good.
You're looking for a tortured method even more sinister than sitting across from your politically outspoken cousin at the holiday dinner table?
Oh, no.
LAD, or Lad Bible, reported on November 21st that an Italian monk, Franciscus Brunus de San Severino, described goat's tongue in his 1502 treatise on tortured methods.
What?
But it's not entirely clear whether the medieval practice actually took place. It involves soaking the subject's feet in salt water, then securing them in a stock and letting a goat lick them to the point of peeling and bleeding. The torture method, which may date back to ancient Rome, could have resulted in death from infection. Wow.
Yeah, I could believe it, though. Wow.
Oh, my gosh. I wouldn't want to, first of all, I wouldn't want a goat licking my toes regardless.
That's true. Yeah.
Then they might
That's
bite
scary.
them. Forget about licking them,
Yeah. Well, we got some stories about the golden age of air travel here,
Hmm.
guys. So let's start with the first one. On November 25th, at Boston's Logan International Airport, two planes got a tad too chummy on the tarmac, as
Uh-oh.
Fox News reported. An American Airlines Boeing 777 was being towed when its wing clipped the wing of a Frontier Airlines Airbus A321 that was parked at a gate, the Federal
Uh-oh.
Aviation Administration said. There were no injuries reported to passengers, but all passengers exited the planes and American removed its plane from service. Frontier said all passengers will receive a $100 travel voucher, as well as the option to rebook on Frontier or receive a full refund. An airport spokesperson called it a minor incident.
Yeah, minor incident, but they still had to fill out a full report and who's getting
Yeah.
fired at the end of the week.
Yeah, American just put plane out of service. Frontier decided, you know what, we're going to compensate everyone. So
Yeah.
that
So you
tells us,
know
did American even want to compensate their passengers? I don't know.
I don't know for that matter. And as big as a company as American is, they still are that disastrously sick in the head, I guess.
Exactly, yeah.
And finally, on November 16th, aboard United Airlines Flight 502 from Austin, Texas to Los Angeles, one traveler lost his composure and started beating up his seat.
Oh, well, it's better than a person.
The New York Post reported that the unnamed man, dressed in sweats, stood on his seat and repeatedly kicked its backrest as bystanders watched and took video. The flight attendant walked by a couple times. Nobody was doing anything. Said
Oh, no.
witness Gino Galafaro.
Oh,
He
no.
and two other passengers decided to take matters in their own hands, zip tying the irate passenger's hands and feet and strapping him into a seat. About an hour later, as the flight landed, law enforcement met them at the gate. United Airlines said he has been banned from future flights. Good.
Yeah, there you go.
Now he's at it. Go get some psychiatric help there, skunk.
Exactly. Yeah, there you go.
All right. Yeah.
All right.
And that's the news of the weird for this past week, November 29th, 2024.
All right. Well, it's time for another funny story. Thankfully, from AP News. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
More than 3,000 fake Gibson guitars have been seized at the Los Angeles airport, or at Los Angeles port, I should say.
Wow.
So here it is. This was dated back on November 29th. More than 3,000 fake Gibson electric guitars shipped from Asia were seized by the U.S. Customs and Border Protection agents at the L.A. Long Beach Seaport, authorities said. Had the guitars been authentic, they would have been worth $18 million, U.S. Customs and Border Protection said in a statement. The agency said Gibson confirmed the guitars were intercepted were counterfeit.
Oop.
Now, Gibson Company, which was founded in 1894 and based in Nashville, Tennessee, has the top market share in premium electric guitars, and all its guitars are handcrafted in Nashville and Bozeman, Montana. Now, here's a quote here from Cheryl M. Davies, the CBP Director of Field Operations in L.A. These fraudulent guitars may look and feel legitimate for unsuspecting consumers buying them from third-party online sources, street markets, unauthorized retailers, and person-to-person transactions. As we approach the busy holiday shopping season, consumers should pay attention on where they're buying these goods and how much they're paying. And if it's too good to be true, it probably is.
Yep.
That's right. And it's one little note about the Gibson guitar. It's been long lasting here. For example, B.B. King's Lucille was a beautiful Gibson. Same with Chuck Berry. He had one there. Eric Clapton and George Harrison actually borrowed one from George Harrison to play the solo on the famous Beatles songs, Why My Guitar Gently Weeps. Whoops, something popped up. Here's some more about this. This is really emotional and personal for us, not only because of the protection of our players, but because of our Gibson team at large, including the artisans at our crafteries in Nashville, Tennessee, and Bozeman, Montana, who are generations of American families that have dedicated their entire lives to handcrafting Gibson instruments, says Beth Height, the chief marketing officer at Gibson's, which she said in a statement. Authorities announced that the seizure back on that week from Tuesday, but they didn't say when the guitars were taken or which country they came from or who made them. The investigation involving the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, Homeland Security, and the L.A. County Sheriff's Department is ongoing, and violating intellectual property is a felony that can result in a $250,000 fine and 10 years in prison. Yes, that is crazy if you think about it.
So if you're going to try to fake everybody out with a fake Gibson, don't even try it.
No, don't.
My next question is, do you play guitar, Scott?
No, I do not, though. I wish I could play guitar. The only instrument I ever really did any practice on was the piano, and I was not that good at it. My sister was a lot better at piano than I ever was, so there you go.
Give me anything with a percussion, and I can belt it out. Keyboard, synthesizer, vibraphone, even the maracas.
Yeah, I guess. Well, technically, I can say the only thing guitar I ever tried was one of those rock band guitars, with the 5 buttons and a little strum bar. But that's basically it.
I tried to sit down once and try to play guitar in a guitar shop, or like in Guitar Center. I suck so badly, but I'm willing to try everything. I actually did better on a banjo.
Wow, impressive.
But it cut my fingers. I actually got cuts.
Yeah. Well, that's the reason why they put covers on their fingers, and steel covers on when you play banjo on there.
I actually had the skin lift off on one of my fingers. I got calluses to prove it.
Yeah, that's scary. That's scary.
That's why I stick to my keyboards. Less painful on the skin, but on the joints, it's even worse.
True.
All right, now time for the archives. Oh boy,
here we go.
October 6th, 1996 again. We're still in that year, but now we're in the month of October. And the first one is for you, Scott.
Okay, productive lunch hours. Ollie King, who was age 38 at the time, was arrested as he allegedly sought to buy drugs in a suburb of Atlanta in June during his lunch hour break from serving on a jury. Also in July that year, Li Balun, age 33 at the time, was arrested in Beijing, China, and was charged with being the thief who, during his lunch hours over a 4-year period, walked into more than 1,000 government offices and stole money from unattended workers' desks and belongings. And we say, wow.
Could you say Li Balun is floating out of the sky?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
What a name. All right, here's Dolemania for you. Just before the Republican convention in August, a man carrying 3 suitcases climbed the 400-foot radio tower in Miami and told onlookers he would stay there until he was selected as Bob Dole's running mate. Well, his political platform, more horses and bicycles, less asphalt and pornography. And in Dallas, after becoming enraged at Dole's nomination on August 14th, 70-year-old Ernest Kamegis.
Yeah.
Yeah. He went to his bedroom, grabbed a handgun, fired several shots at his cousin and stepdaughter, and then shot himself to death.
Wow, that's sad. That's a sad ending. But this guy is nuts.
Dole did not win,
Yeah. By the way, just to let you know, I live only 25 miles away from Bob Dole's hometown. So, yeah. Yeah, his hometown is Russell, Kansas, and that's where my daughter is currently living as well. And that's probably one of the big things. They say that it's also was the home of Warren Spector also during his childhood.
Yep. All right. Cool. Well, you're up next.
All right. Well, the government of Zimbabwe had announced back that June that year that it was pessimistic that it would fill the vacant position of hangman after the resignation of Timothy Griffiths, who was aged 72 at the time, an Englishman. Tommy Griffiths. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Who was an Englishman who had held the part-time post since the 1950s. Though dozens of men are on death row, no local person will take the job because of a national superstition about taking someone's life without personal motive. Yeah, I can understand that.
They probably suffer from triskaidekaphobia, which is the fear number 13 as well,
Well, it wouldn't be surprised, or something else like that. There you go.
And for all of those who read the New York Times, you're probably familiar with this article from 1996. As the Times reported in April that entomologist P. Kirk Vischer and 2 colleagues set out to challenge the conventional wisdom that a human should only very carefully attempt to extract the stinger after a honeybee attack.
Oh, my.
Now, their thesis is that speed of removal, not style, is more important, and they tested it the only way they knew how.
Uh-oh.
Dr. Vischer took about 50 honeybees over several days,
Ooh.
methodically rubbed each against his skin until it stung, extracted the stinger, and measured the welt. Said Vischer, that's the price of fame and fortune. Oh, shoot.
Wow.
Hey, he's doing the test. I wouldn't want to be even near those honeybees.
Same.
Now,
I will respect the bee. I do not want to attempt the bee. Okay.
I'll take the honey anytime, but leave me alone. I don't want no bee.
There we go. Well, in the San Francisco Chronicle Labor Day story, it described several local jobs that might make its readers appreciate their own. First, the University of California at Davis scientist Francine Bradley was interviewed because she trains workers to perform the manual insemination of turkeys. From boiling the semen to implanting it. By the way, turkeys genetically bred from massive breast meat sections cannot comfortably mate on their own. Recommended Bradley, you had to develop a relationship with your Tom.
Gobble, gobble.
Gobble, right. Well, there's more. You got the next San Francisco run. You're going to love this one.
Yeah, well, also in that issue of the San Francisco Chronicle was a report on Martha Hureta, who pulls an 8-hour shift at ABC diaper service in Berkeley, California, where she feeds soiled diapers through an electronic counting machine and onto the washer.
What?
Her tools are gloves and an electric fan, although she said her supervisor, it helps that her sense of smell isn't very good.
Yeah, I would think so. With all those used diapers, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be there either.
All right. Let's change subjects. The weekly Brazilian news magazine, Veja, reported back in April of 96 that 72 of the nation's 75 baby chick gender inspectors are of Japanese origin, and that Brazilians cannot seem to master the craft. A baby chick sexer, spends the day in a dark room with a single spotlight as he picks up and checks 16 baby chicks per minute with 99% accuracy. Newly hatched chicks have no external sex organs, but just tiny appendages concealed by their feathers.
Wow. There you go. Well, if you're a fishing lover, you're going to love this one. Fishing on Junior Lake in July, Phil Cram, police chief in Mcvay, Maine, lost part of his hand when an explosive tube he was using illegally to stun fish blew up prematurely. Wow.
Yeah, well, that is interesting.
I've never had that happen while fishing, but then again, I've seen some pretty sick stuff when it comes to those people filming.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, here's something. Back in April of 96, a devoutly Christian abstinence counselor and high school senior, Danielle Anderson, age 18 at the time, of Redmond, Oregon, gave birth to the baby of a former short-term boyfriend. She said she felt guilty about it, but still believes in abstinence. Can we say she failed at that?
And failed miserably, let alone yeah. And of course, in good old Tampa, Florida, which is about 2 hours from me, in April, Antonio Valente Valdez Jr. on his way to court to answer a traffic citation for driving without his prescription glasses, accidentally hit a car that had already crashed on the side of the road. According to police, he wasn't wearing his glasses then either.
Well, that's...
God, I haven't been to Tampa in a while because they're still crazy to this day.
Well, let's go back to another great story from April that year. Christopher J. Cairns, a Trenton, New Jersey undercover police officer, was arrested and charged with robbing the Kenwood Savings Bank in Cincinnati during a break while attending the Middle Atlantic Law Enforcement Convention. Terrence, who was unfamiliar with the city, reportedly paused after collecting the money from the teller to ask directions out to Interstate 71, and he was spotted on his way there by a local police officer.
Wow.
What? Yeah, I could tell that's pretty bad, sign on there. There you go.
Yeah, and just a month before that, in July, according to a fire department officials in Pullman, Washington, the cause of a fire in a parked truck was the magnification of the sun through a plastic prism hanging from the truck ceiling onto a stack of papers. The truck's owner said the prism was a gift from his insurance company. And residents of Santa Rosa, Texas were temporarily in jeopardy in June when a fire broke out in the town's only fire truck, disabling it.
Well, that sucks. Now, going back to the prism from the insurance company, did they intentionally give that to them so they can try to get an insurance claim from that fire?
It's possible they would
That's
do
what I
anything.
wonder. Yeah.
Try to file a claim and try to do it as truthfully as you can without falsifying anything and losing the whole case altogether.
Right, exactly. Well, we're going back a few more years. How about that? Okay, let's go back to 1992. News of the Weird reported on Navy Department Secretary B. Perry, who had made a daily 340-mile round trip commute from her home in Trenton, New Jersey, to various jobs in Washington, D.C. for 25 years. Back in August 1996, Associated Press story touted Geraldine Howell, age 66 at the time, who for 39 years has maintained a 6-day-a-week, 9-hour, and 200-mile-a-day newspaper route over mountainous terrain, delivering to the Clarksburg, West Virginia Exponent.
And the one question I got is B. Perry or Geraldine Howell, are they still alive to this day?
Probably not. I mean, if Geraldine was 66 and that was back in 1996, yeah, I don't think she is.
28 more years added to that, she'd be about what,
94 if she's still alive. But there you go.
God willing, if she made it to that point in her time,
The thing that worries me is the most the fact that 200 miles a day, that means you're probably going to have every half a month, you got to get an oil change in your car. So there you go.
Yeah. Now, if she did it on horseback, she'd only have to change the hoofs every 4,000 to 5,000 miles. She only have to change shoes once in a while because a horse can go a long time before it's got to change its shoes,
Exactly, yeah.
Well, and finally, unfortunately, this 63-year-old man died in May in West Plains, Missouri.
Yep.
He had set himself on fire in a suicide attempt, but the pain was so great that he ran into a pond to douse the flames and drowned.
Oh, no. Well, he got his wish to die anyway, but there we go.
Yeah, but he wanted to burn himself. Instead, he burned himself. Dumbass. Also in May, 7 losing candidates in state and parliamentary elections in India committed suicide after their party was trounced.
Oh, no.
They lost. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
And in June, in Eskilstuna, Sweden, if I pronounced that right.
Yeah, I think you're close, yeah.
50-year-old Leif Borg. What a name. Leif Borg. Murdered. Yeah. Prior to the divorce proceeding, blew himself up with dynamite in the courtroom and injured 4 others.
Dude. Can we call him a suicide bomber? Oh, no.
Oh, I think that's probably where they got it from.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. First of all, the first part of that, you die one way, but it's so painful, so you die another way.
That's right. All right. So here's the thing. We're going to be finishing up at about 45 minutes. This is only going to be a 45-minute show tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be short.
Because Scott's got some other things to do in about 15 minutes from this. I want to make sure he gets to his games on time. The man's busy with a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, I do have things tonight, though, so there you go.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take the 19 burnt out signs that are accidentally hilarious. Now, if you've ever seen this before, folks, what we mean to say is if you've seen a sign that's burnt out somewhere driving down at night, and it looks like the letters are just not what they are, these are these are hilarious ones. This is
There you
by
go.
Andy Golder from BuzzFeed. You know that thing when a store sign is partially burned out, so it accidentally spells something hilarious? Well, it
Yeah.
turns out there's a whole subreddit for that. So please enjoy these signs that accidentally sent the wrong message. I got to get my sound effects in.
There
Also.
we go.
All right. So the first one, ice cold. Is he okay?
It's good. Yeah.
Ice
I
cold.
think we know what's missing. The R in the end. So yeah.
Yeah. But wow, what are the chances of the R in the end being out, right?
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, next one is
Fart.
Party City
Fart.
instead of Party City.
Yeah, it was Party City. Yeah. Fart.
All right, number 3. To be fair, London Drugs was really playing with fire here. On drugs. London
This is funny. I like this one so far.
No wonder why Benny Hill was so screwed up in his time. He was on drugs, you know.
Maybe, who knows? But he still is a brilliant man.
Number 4.
I mean, there are two ways the signs can go wrong. I mean, so of course both of them happened on this one. Don't
do drugs.
It's another London drug sign, so there you go.
And in this case, on drugs to do drugs, you know.
Yeah, why not? There you go.
Yeah, right. Number 5. This is that Tyga song, right? I guess.
Let's find out what it says.
Ass City.
It's supposed to be Sunglass, but you get
Ass City, but it's Ass City. Yeah.
Ass City.
Look at that. Sunglasses, $9.99 or 2 for $18. Boy, I guess that's some cheapo stuff, you know.
They were knockoffs, but they're pretty interesting knockoffs. Okay.
Yep, number 6.
Okay. It's for gardening, right?
Yeah, well,
Right.
instead of shoes.
Oh no!
Now, see, you work for Home Depot, Scott. So, is there ever a time when you saw letters out on your sign and it kind of made a funny?
We don't get that lucky. We're not that lucky, unfortunately, though. But they probably do exist somewhere in this world. I'll know that, though.
Yeah,
the Home Depot. There you go. Get rid of the end. It's the Home Depot.
Yeah, Home Depot. All right, so that was number 6, and here's for number 7. Hopefully, it's just German for the Mart. Die
Mart.
Instead of Brody Food Mart, it's Die Mart.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh. 2 for $4, 2 for $3.50, and 2 for $5. Yeah, cheapo Food Mart.
Craft beers, all that good stuff. Okay. Oh Lord, they're coming.
Oh God.
Lizard warning, 4 a.m. Saturday to on Sunday. I know what the letter was missing.
The blizzard is. I didn't know it was a plague of lizards just kind of on the expressway, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I love how it doesn't give you the time on Sunday, but there you go. It's even funnier.
That's right. Stan, have you met my friend Dee's? Oh God.
No. It's nuts, right?
Stan's nuts.
I had a feeling that was going to come up.
I knew it. It's always got to be like, did you met my friend Dee's? Dee's nuts, you know? Now it's Stan's nuts. Yeah.
It Stan's nuts.
Okay.
What else we got here?
Oh God.
Be careful if it lasts more than 4 hours, Mike.
Oh God.
Oh God.
Oh.
Mike's hard on. Oh, poor Mike.
Man, Mike's hard on. Yeah, not hard lemonade, but hard on, you know? Boy.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God. Number 11. What a rude building. Oh, gosh.
What's we got?
Eat me. What the What the hell is that?
It's a for treatment. I get it. You get it. It was
Privilege.
some kind of medical place for treatment, and then Eat Me came.
Eat me. Oh God, eat me. It's
That's funny.
a rude building. Yeah.
Building, yeah.
All right.
How about I often feel as though I'm there whenever I fill up on gas these days. What's that say?
Uh-oh.
Hell. A Shell station, of course.
Yeah. All right. Hey, P. Oh God. Speedway.
Speedway. Based off the Speedway, yeah. So there you go. The Speedway.
Speedway. The Speedway. Yes. Okay.
Fully air conditioned. Mine's usually it's kept frozen. How bad?
Oh.
Oh.
Amusement.
Yeah, it's supposed to be an amusement, but I love again it says fully air conditioned. Oh, good lord.
Yeah, usually though it's kept frozen. That's like cryogenics. Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
that's nice. They have their own plaza.
The Milk Plaza. It's the Milford. It's supposed to be the Milford, but you get the idea.
Yeah, I can't believe it still exists after all these years.
There you
The
go.
Milford Plaza, yeah. Great commercial.
There you go. I can't wait to learn some facts.
Uh-huh.
The spag fact. Actually, there's a old spaghetti factory down in Wichita, and I like that place. But
I never heard of this place before.
It's good though. They concentrate mostly on spaghetti, but they got a few other good things in there too. It's really good.
Yeah, but the Spag Fact is really even better.
Yeah, exactly. Spag Fact.
Yeah, all right. Number 17. Caution, they are not beginner disco parts. These are not beginner disco.
Advanced discount parts.
Disco
parts. Yeah.
Disco. You can just see the ball coming down at the same time.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
The glitter ball, you know?
Exactly.
Okay.
Because food goes into your mouth, right? Right? Oh no. Oh no.
I never ever will be another Golden Corral ever again. There will be the Golden Corral.
Of course, yeah.
All right. And finally, number 19. And finally, toot.
Toot. Toot. Toot. It's a miracle.
It's toot.
And look at it. It's a miracle. It's a miracle toot.
What do you think? I think they
That's
just,
amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's time for us to get going, unfortunately, though.
Yeah, that was good. We always end on a happy high note, and in this case, we did really good. So we'll see you guys next week with the color is green. And I'm going to find some more funny signs like this. I think that really,
I think so too. Yeah.
I hope there's more out there just like this one.
I hope so. Like I said, they did say there was a whole subreddit. Maybe we've got to look into it.
Yeah, definitely. In the meantime, we'll catch you next week from now, and episode 17 will be there. Scott?
Bye-bye.
Yep. Have a good night. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.